Hello, hello. Good to have you with us on Red Barn Radio. I'm Brad Becker. This is season 19 of Red Barn Radio. And tonight we welcome you to show number 737. Our staff and our artists so appreciate that you continue to visit the Red Barn Radio YouTube and Twitch channels to enjoy our Wednesday live streams. And with us this evening, Shannon Clark the Sugar. Hailing from rustic Darke County, Ohio, Shannon Clark the Sugar, with their own distinctive flair, create a sound that some describe as Midwest Americana Soul. This family band writes and performs their original music about personal loss, struggles, and the human condition. They finished their first full-length album with Grammy Award-winning producer Mark Howard of Bob Dylan, U2, Neil Young, Tom Waits, Lucinda Williams, and Emmylou Harris fame. And that is set to be released in 2021. Welcome to Red Barn Radio, Shannon Clark and the Sugar.
I got a sister in Modesto that I don't ever see. I guess it's alright, 'cause she only half looks like me, and I let it ride. Ooh, let it ride. My real daddy never knew me till I turned 24. Good thing I found him, 'cause he wasn't knocking at my door, and I let it ride. Ooh, let it ride. Well, it doesn't matter when the rain comes, just as long as you get dry. 'Cause it ain't a question of when, it's a question why. I'm gonna let it ride. I buried a daughter, oh, even for a time. I take her place, oh, a million times. I let it ride. Ooh, let it ride. Well, my mama, she used to leave me when I was just a kid. She was telling herself to the next man's highest bid, and I let it ride. Well, it doesn't matter when the rain comes, just as long as you get dry. 'Cause it ain't a question of when, it's a question of why. Ooh, gonna let it ride. It doesn't matter when the rain comes, just as long as you get dry. But it ain't a question of when, it's a question of why. I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna let it ride, yeah. Right.
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
Shannon Clark and the Sugar hail from Greenville, Ohio.
Good evening and welcome
Shannon
to
and his wife Brittany, who is behind the drum kit there, have been playing music together for many years. They're joined this evening by their daughter Navie and accompanist Michael Ronstadt playing bass and Doug Hamilton playing other instruments of other kinds. Shannon Clark and the Sugar have a new album of music called Marks on the Wall, released in May, actually. We are glad they can be with us here on Red Barn Radio this evening. Welcome back, Shannon Clark and the Sugar.
Tennessee plowboys picking a tune, yeah, the band's yelling calls, and I'm looking for you. Hands in my pocket for 3 straight weeks, just a fly on the wall and just shuffling my feet. Well, I took 2 showers, slicked back my hair, and not that you'd notice and not that you care. About that time, you know, you walked in with that polka dot dress and a school girl grin. And I said, hey there, hey little darling, hey there, hey little darling, hey there, won't you tell me your name? Hey there, hey little darling, hey there, hey little darling, hey there, won't you tell me your name? Well, you bow to your partner and you do-si-do. I hope my nerves, they don't start to show, 'cause I never seen such a prettier thing than a nugget of gold or a diamond ring. Well, the room was spinning as I walked towards you. I don't know what to say or what I'll do. Feel my heart inside of my chest, and I couldn't believe it when you said yes. When I said, hey there, hey little darling, hey there, hey little darling, hey there, won't you tell me your name? Hey there, hey little darling, hey there, hey little darling, hey there, won't you tell me your name? Whistle solo.
Couldn't hear your name. Somehow we ended up first. Never
tell me your name? Hey there, hey little darling, hey there, hey little darling, hey there, won't you tell me your name? I wrote that one, it's called Little Darling, if you didn't know. And we're so glad to be here tonight, this afternoon, today. What is it? Is it evening? It's sort of evening? Yeah, so we wrote that song about my grandparents meeting in a barn dance way back in the day. They used to drink White Lightning and have a good old time and square dance all night, and that's how they fell in love. So we wrote that song for them. And this next song I also wrote for my grandfather. And he had a hard time when my grandma passed. And after people married for 50 years or a long time, they usually have a hard time not being with their mate. And so we wrote this about him struggling with that. And it's called Wait Till Spring. Oh, I could wait all winter just to feel your spring, and it seems like I've forgotten just what I'm doing here. 'Cause ever since you left me, I'm wasting in this skin, but the ground is just too cold to bury these old bones. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till spring. Maybe you're still listening to our favorite song. On Saturdays I'll tear it up, drink just enough to feel alone. Yeah, I waited around till spring, I seen them flowers sing. Now I'm moving on. 'Cause when we said our piece, as you rocked in your chair, never thought it'd be the last time that you'd ever sit there. 'Cause ever since you left me, I'm wasting in this skin. Yeah, the ground's just too cold to bury these old bones. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till spring. Maybe you're still listening to our favorite song. On Saturdays I'll tear it up, drink just enough to feel alone. Yeah, I waited around till spring, and I seen them flowers sign. Now I'm moving on. Now I'm moving on. Yeah, I waited around till spring, I seen him fly with sand. Now I'm coming home. I had to be the guy that brought more than one guitar. Everybody having a good time, all right? Awesome. Glad to hear it. So this next song I wrote for my children many years ago. It's off a really old EP that I had out about, 6 or 7 years ago maybe. And never really released it anywhere, but it is online. You can find it. And I have 3 kids, so I wanted to write one for each of them, but it was easier just to write one song. That way it was less work, so not that I don't love you. This song is called The Moon. Give you anything, grant you more than just these wings on my back. I'm trying not to wait too long. Give you all these things, all the colors that the maker puts in front of me. I'll be there before your faith goes down. I will be a symphony. Try to hold on tight and follow me. I could be the one you see in your eyes. Do not take these simple things for granted, and I'm starving for all of your affections, and I belong with you now. With you now. Give you all these things, all the colors that the maker puts in front of me, and I'll be there before that faith goes down. And it's hard to make believe when everything is like so simple between all the moon and stars. And I won't fail you if you let me try. 'Cause I will be a symphony. Try to hold on tight and follow me. I could be the one you see in your eyes. Do not take these simple things for granted, and I'm starving for all of your affections, and I belong with you now. Belong with you now. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. I will be a Try to hold on tight and follow me. I could be the one you see in your eyes. And I take these simple things for granted and let them start there for all of your affections. Oh, I long with you now. Long with you now. I'm having fun. This is awesome. A little nervous. Always nervous when I play in front of anyone. Especially Brad. Brad makes me nervous.
Play behind someone.
Yes. If it's behind someone and no one can see me, I'm fine. I do a lot of work for the Grammys. You probably never see me. I'm backstage, but I play backstage. So this next song, I wrote this song because I always wanted to write a song that made me think about the Old West and robbing a bank like Jesse James. And so I tried to encompass my mind to write a song that made me think of that but didn't necessarily imply that it was that time period. So this is what I came up with. It's called The Mountain. High on that mountain, here we gonna ride, ride, ride till sundown. Well, I work all day till the sun don't shine. Yeah, I buried last winter my pretty blue eyes. I lost my home to the banker's greed. Yeah, I let this town take the best of me. Roll up my sleeves and wash my hands. I'm tired of being a broken man. Riding high, so high on that mountain. We gonna ride, ride, ride to sundown. Pray dear Lord to help me hold. Swallow that grief, trade it in for gold. 'Cause I'm taking from those who never know. Ooh, the working hands of a callous soul. One last ride by that creek where we laid you down to sleep. We riding high, so high on that mountain. We gonna ride, ride, ride to sundown. This law wasn't on our side. I never saw it coming at 45. As they lay me down to rest, oh, my hands were steady 'cause I know it's next. Maybe things didn't work as planned, but I'm still going home to see you again. Riding high till sundown. 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to Red Barn Radio. I'm Brad Becker, and our guest this evening is Shannon Clark and the Sugar. They come to us from Greenville, Ohio. And Shannon, I got online, I must admit, this afternoon. I got on to Wikipedia to just check out what might be going on in Greenville. Like if there were, for instance, like any festivals or special, like, annual things that go on in Greenville. And the only thing I could find out today was that there's a hydrant flushing going on today.
Yeah, that's usually our annual fun time. That's the hydrant flushing, yeah. I had to miss it for this, but, it's okay.
Is there something that Greenville, Ohio is notorious for, or?
We got a couple things. We got Annie Oakley was born in Darke County, so we're the home of Little Miss Sure Shot, which we're sure proud of.
Oh, right.
A lot of history with Anthony Wayne and the city of Greenville, the Treaty of Greenville, Tecumseh, things like that. There's a lot of history.
What time
there.
period? When is that? Are we like 1700s there?
That would have been in the 1700s.
Okay,
yeah. A little before my time.
So,
and,
but
yeah.
Annie, but you and Annie were pretty tight.
We were. She was a little better than me at shooting, which is okay. But yeah, so she's. We also have things like we have a made right sandwich that's super popular.
Wait a minute. What is that? A restaurant we should visit if we are
a
up in
loose
Greenville?
meat. You ever seen those loose meat sandwiches? You can get them out like sometimes they have them out west, and they're kind of like a thing, and people drive for miles and miles. That's this place. Yeah, it's good. You should get some.
And to say it's what called
made right sandwiches.
Made right sandwiches.
That's what we're known for. Lay line up all day for them.
Oh, come on.
And our county fair's big. We got a big county fair. If you like county fairs.
Yeah, I do.
Cornfields and county fairs, tractor pulls. What else we got?
Well,
diabetes. Got a lot of that.
So you got a good hot dog in your town?
We do. Yeah, there's a little local root beer stand. It's got some good hot dogs.
Oh, good.
Jim's,
All right.
yeah.
Okay, good. Well, we'll make it up there. That sounds like fun, actually. It sounds like a cool little town. I wonder if you might just start us off by telling us a little bit about the sort of musical world that you grew up in, and actually, I wouldn't mind it, Brittany, if you don't mind coming up to, or do you have a mic there too?
I have a mic.
Excellent. Great.
Okay.
So you guys could tag team this question. Yeah, could you talk to us a little bit about your sort of musical upbringing? What was happening when you were a little kid musically that made you into a musical adult?
Well, me? For
Yeah,
me?
yeah, sure.
Well, so I grew up, my mom was a radio disc jockey for most of her, ever since, pretty much the whole time I was growing up, she worked as a radio disc jockey at either a rock and roll station or a country station. She bounced back and forth, so sometimes you'd be listening to Bob Seger and Tom Petty, and then sometimes you'd be listening to, Pam Tillis and Miranda Lambert, so it just depended on what job she had at the time. But so I grew up getting to meet a lot of celebrities, I guess, sort of. She dragged me to concerts, and I met Reba and Vince and a couple really cool people. Of course, as a kid,
Before you thought
like all younger kids, I was into I had awful taste in music. So I listened to mostly rap music or whatever's on the radio at the time, and so my mom would drag me to these concerts, and I was just like, I hate this stuff. I just couldn't stand it. I remember sitting in the Reba concert, and I was just sitting here like rolling my eyes the whole time. I'm like 13 or something, But
now you'd beg to go, huh?
But later on in life, I realized that music was kind of like made me feel home, because a lot of that music is popular where I live, and so it was really that's kind of my musical influences are all over the place. That's why my set list is always all over the place. So that's a little bit about that, I guess.
Yeah. Brittany, what about you? I mean, I'm especially interested in how you became a percussionist.
Wow, yeah. So my uncle happened to play drums when he was like in high school, and he had this garage, and it's kind of filled with all kinds of cool knickknacks, and I found a drum set in there one day, and I just begged and begged. And so I finally got it. It was this old Apollo. It was red and glittery and beautiful, and I think I just thought it was pretty more than anything. So I brought it home, put some new heads on it, and my parents, thank goodness, they let me practice in the basement because that's like, a pretty annoying thing to hear. But I would listen to Sheryl Crow of all things, the Globe Sessions album, and I would just listen for hours and just pick out the drums. And so I would say self-taught by Sheryl Crow's drummer is how that's how this happened. And I was probably 13, 14. So ever since then, yeah.
And you've been drumming. So
Ever
you've been
since,
drumming.
absolutely.
All right.
Never
Okay.
stopped.
So I have a lot. I have a lot of questions about the references that there are to the Warped Tour, and the two of you. This is 2004. Did you say? Was it early 2000s or?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I think of the Warped Tour, and I've attended too with my son, probably about that time.
Maybe, yeah.
One in Cleveland. One was in Cleveland, and I can't remember the other one. But anyway, I think of mohawks, tattoos,
Girl jeans.
a lot of guys, just bouncing off each other, very physical. I think it was very scary for me. There were times when I wondered, have I done the wrong thing,
Yes.
bringing my child to this?
And that's exactly what it
And
was like.
is that?
You nailed it.
You nailed it.
Tell us. So tell folks, how is it that the two of you, who now play Midwest Americana Soul,
Yeah.
what stage was there for that at Warped Tour?
Man, I was,
Well,
yeah.
I guess at the time we kind of played in our youthful days when we first met. That's how we met, was playing music, and that's just what was popular with the kid. We were young, and that's what was popular at the time in our area, was the emo rock and the progressive rock and the pop punk and the punk, and so we kind of just adapted into what was going on in our area. There wasn't a lot of Americana going in our area at the time, but the younger scene, that's what it was. So we
That's
just
about the only way you can
started
get a
writing
show.
songs with the palm muting chunk stuff.
Yeah,
and that's
right.
just- It's what we did, and it was kind of.
Thrashing.
But if you listen to some of my old stuff, it's weird because it doesn't sound anything like this. But if you took out the music behind it and put the lyrics into something like we're doing here, it would still fit. I was writing the same music. I was just writing it to a fast, Yeah. So that's kind of how we ended up there. And I think as we just grew into our musical lives, we just kind of adapted and kind of grew in a different direction. But it was definitely a good time, and we learned a lot about the music industry and about how touring is hard. And those guys that do the Warped Tour, man, it's every day. It's boom, 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 boom. It's a very long tour, and we did not play the whole tour. We only played select dates, thank goodness, because I don't know if I could have handled that.
You mean just ones in the region, or?
Yeah, we played
Just
mostly
regional.
in the region. We played on a couple
Ohio,
stages that we
Kentucky.
won contests on and got asked to play a few others. So
Oh, all right.
yeah, it was fun. It's a good
Very
time.
fun. I mean, I really did have a good time. I was pretty amazed, but there were moments, when
Oh,
I
yeah,
wondered.
yeah.
We didn't do the moshing
Yeah,
as
yeah.
much. We were more of a lighthearted pop punk band, so
Okay.
we weren't like people didn't mosh at our stage.
Yeah, I don't think that my kid went to those stages. I think he was more in,
Yeah, I
in the
wouldn't
mosh
have made
stage.
it there.
Right. All right. So take us from there. So you all did that. That was in the early 2000s, and then take us from there to here.
Man, so we lost a daughter. We were in the process of having, we had Navie, and so Brittany decided to stop kind of playing for a while. So I adapted into another band, and did that for a while. And then when we lost our daughter, our second daughter, it kind of brought us, back to reality a little bit. So we kind of reshifted our focus to focus on our family, and we needed that time to be together and to work through that. And so we took a long break from music. I don't think I picked up a guitar for, it could have been 2 or 3 years maybe even. And it wasn't until we started having other kids, and Navie started getting older, that they wanted to play with mom and dad, and I always had a guitar hanging up on the wall. I just didn't play it much, and so we started falling in love with it again, and then eventually we started writing again. Because when you start having kids, you want to write about your kids, you want to write about things that are important to you.
A lot of content there.
Yeah, so it's a long stretch from there to there. Like I said, we have only been playing as a group now, really, is this arrangement only for maybe a little over a year.
So how much time actually passed? Your daughter's name's Olive.
Correct.
So how much time passed from Olive's passing until the time when you actually got back to playing music again?
Probably 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Probably 3 or 4
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
And then we slowly got back into it. It wasn't like it was like, oh, let's go play a show once every 5 months. And we'd go do something, and then we'd take a break. And
Yeah.
But ironically, it was, I think, Navie's interest when she was, 7, 8, 9, her interest in music that, you guys would sing the Andy Griffith song, the Crawdad Hole song, and they would just go, every day they would just play this little song. And so it was honestly Navie's interest in music that actually kind of re-kick-started us back into our love of music, and, so.
Hey, Brittany, I'm sorry. Would you mind repeating that at the mic, just because
yeah,
I'd like
sorry.
I'd just
feel
like to
like-
be sure that listeners hear what
Yeah.
you were just saying.
So I said, ironically, it was really Navie that really ignited our interest in music again when she was 7, 8, 9. They would always we always watched Andy Griffith, and so she talked him into playing the Crawdad Hole song, and so they'd play it like every day, and then they would just slowly add more songs into the repertoire than they would do, and that really was what reignited everything for us. Was ironically just Navie's interest, our kids' interest in
Yeah.
and having music around, and so
That's pretty
yeah,
amazing.
I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, yeah, you should be. Yeah. Hey, Navie, we're talking about you. Yeah, did your mom and dad get you music lessons when you were a kid and say, we're paying for your lessons, it's time for you to practice, stuff like that?
Actually, no, I've never taken any lessons. My dad taught me guitar when I was little, and that's about it. So I guess unofficial lessons, but yeah, just kind of being around music, I think, taught me a lot, and that's kind of where I'm at today.
Yeah, you're a great singer.
Oh, thank
You got a great ear, and you and your dad blend so beautifully. Are you in college now? Post college? Pre-college?
I am in high school and taking college classes.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right. What's your interests outside of music?
Music, man.
Ha.
I'm big into photography stuff. That's what I'm mostly interested in. I do a lot of that. And art, stuff like that.
Oh.
I love to read too, so
Oh yeah.
just a lot of little hobbies I do.
Yeah. And so playing with your mom and dad. I mean, as a parent who played with his daughter, which I did for a long time, it was unsurpassed joy for me as a parent. What's it like for you as a young person to be playing and performing with your mom and dad? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's really exciting. I think they've got a lot of experience in music. They've been playing before I was born, so it's like really nice to have them here to learn from and and help me with different music stuff. We write a lot of stuff together, my mom and dad, and it's kind of this really good trio. We just kind of bounce off each other, and it's really nice to have that power, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's ideal that it's ideal that the three of you living together have that opportunity to sort of create sort of even skeletal ideas of songs, and then
We
bring
never
in
fight
a
at
couple
practice,
guys like
never.
this.
No,
Never.
we've
Oh, is it
never,
always
ever
just?
fought.
Is it always
Doesn't
just
happen.
cheer time? No, do you actually ever is practice ever challenging? A challenge?
Absolutely.
Yeah, tell me. Give me an example, like of what kind of thing might come up.
I don't know. We'll start arguing about stupid stuff like capos and
There's
the
always a
guitar not
missing
plugged in
tuner
and just silly
or
things.
capo.
Who took the last tuner? That kind of
Oh, so he
Silly
blamed.
little-
So he projects onto you, and
Absolutely, I'm completely innocent. I've never
so
done
he's
anything.
does a projection. Okay, all right, good. Well, I'm glad we got that out at the front end, just so I'll be watching for those projection moments when he. It's great to. So we're going to talk to everybody. There are two on stage we haven't talked to yet, Mike and Doug. And Mike, no, I did not remember your name. I wrote it down after we talked. Yeah, just it's great to have you all here, and we're loving your music. And let's get back to Shannon Clark and the Sugar on Red Barn Radio.
Thank you guys so much. This next song I wrote to kind of bring light to. I had a friend whose mother was suffering from Alzheimer's, and kind of wanted to bring light to such a horrible disease because it gets overlooked a lot. And so I wrote this song for him, and this song is called Blank. Mm. 50 years and we're still here, and you don't even know my name. And every time I visit now, it seems like you forgot my face. Yeah, and I keep tossing, turning, waiting for those things to come on in and flood your eyes. Yeah, it's hard to fade to steal my place and leave me. I'm looking in the review, and the best of me is still with you. Finger paints the kids brought home that you never, ever throw away. Now you don't even know their hands, and you don't know mine, I guess I'm afraid. Yeah, I keep tossing, turning, waiting for those things to come on in and flood your eyes. Yeah, it's hard to fade to steal my glass and leave me. I'm looking in the review, and the best of me is still with you. I want you to say my name, put your blame. I want you to hold my hand, put your blame. Yeah, I want you to feel and feel and feel my love, but you're blank. Oh, in 50 years living in my bed, and you don't even know me 'cause you're blank. You're so blank. Oh, no. No, you're so Thank you. So this next song, I'd like to tell a quick story. I was in a coffee shop in my hometown a number of years ago, and I happened to overhear a conversation between a father and his daughter. And his daughter was getting ready to go to college, and she accidentally got pregnant. And she was torn about the decision of what to do with the baby. And the father was encouraging her to get an abortion. But I don't think that's what the girl wanted. But her dad thought that the child would ruin her career and her life. And so I don't ever know what happened with that situation. But I like to think that this is what happened. And this song is called The Burden. This ain't a schoolhouse, no Reverend's Day. Monsters live and they take away. A place where your problems just seem to trade. An easy life or a guilty grave. Sinking battleships and hide and seek. Little things that they'll never see. Never see. 'Cause the wait is the hardest thing. Wish you see the magnolia spring all the way. Where's your mother, your father, dear? No one there to bend your ear. Where's the talker, the one who claimed to be with you all his days? Sinking battleships and hide and seek. The little things that they'll never see. Never see. 'Cause the wait is the hardest thing. Wish you see the magnolia spring all the way. I killed her 1,000 times, but every way I played it in my mind, my heart just couldn't take that sort of crime. Hey there, mama, will you braid my hair? Toothless smile with dramatic flair. Born on a Tuesday, brown hair and brown eyes. 8 pounds of something that's surely mine. Smells like springtime and candy rain. A perfect burden I'd never trade. Never trade. 'Cause the wait is the hardest thing. Loves to see the magnolia spring all the way, all the way is the hardest thing. I always have trouble singing that one. I think it's because I'm a father, and of course I love my kids and, you know, all that stuff. I think, right? Am I a good father? Sometimes. So this song is a little song I did about, well, you'll hear it. You'll know what it's about. But it's called Houses. There's a house up on the hill. The door still opens, but it's different how I feel. It's begging for a fresh new coat of paint. It's funny how sometimes I seem to feel the same way. a house up on the hill. That playhouse that we never got to build. And you burned for days. Whispers of a family that we never got to raise. Cause some houses don't last forever. It's not a home with only one. Tried to hold up these walls, but I can't do it alone. Cause some houses don't last forever. Thank you.
Before we get back to more music with Shannon Clark and the Sugar, wanted to tell you something. Next week on Red Barn Radio's live stream is Grizzly Goat, undomesticated Americana. Grizzly Goat's music is, as the band's name suggests, undomesticated. Grizzly's blend of folk rock spans the entire breadth of the Americana genre, from soft and sincere campfire ballads to rockin' electric harmonica solos on top of pounding drums and flailing banjo. This band is hardworking and tireless. They brought their rootsy compositions from coast to coast in their white passenger van. Whether at a festival or a small-scale barbecue joint, Grizzly Goat's aim is to connect with their audience on an individual level, building a relationship with each listener. Join them. Build a relationship with these guys. That's on Red Barn Radio, the weekly program that's been bringing you roots music, Southern style, for nearly 20 years. Let's get back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. We come to you live on all of our social media platforms, broadcasting from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the city of Lexington, Kentucky. And we are in this building tonight with Shannon Clark and the Sugar. Welcome back, and welcome these guys to the Red Barn stage. Shannon Clark and the Sugar.
Thank you, thank you. This next song is based on a true story about my great-great-grandfather kind of being a dirty little bastard, I guess is the best way to say it. Can I say that on the air? This song is called Red River. Josie never had much, just a knack for having kids. Found herself a simple man and a farm that she could tend. To make ends meet, you know they'd run a little shine. Ride down that Red River till the North Kentucky pines. You better run, Red River, run. preacher of the town, well, he had no room for sin. Turned the law to a door and they sent him up for 10. Why, dear Lord, would the preacher be the one? Things get a little complicated between a father and a son. You better run, Red River, run. You better run, Red River, run. Red dirt girls, well, they never stand a chance. They came for the kids of power in the land. But when they found her laughing, no longer Josephine, right in front of the preacher's house with a can of gasoline. You better run, Red River, run. You better run, Red River, run. At the record show that I barely knew the man. Courtroom was quiet as a neighbor took his stand. Now I'm not saying she's right, that's for the Lord to find. But if it would have been me, I would have lit it up like the 4th of July. You better run, Red River, run. You better run, Red River, run. Things we do in secret, my hand up on the gun, Red River, run. Thank you. Wow, now we got the new song. Let me do a quick tune real quick.
This may be too new, huh?
Yeah, so this next song, I'll just tell you a little bit while I'm tuning my guitar here. Is that how they say it down here, guitar?
Ways of saying.
We call it a whole lots of things where I'm from, too. I guess I'm not that far away from you guys. What, 4 hours or something?
Yeah.
My mom actually used to work one of the buildings down here. She used to do radio voiceover. She'd drive down on the weekends here in Lexington. Forget, whatever your biggest, the big black tower that's real tall. Isn't there a big, huge tower here?
We do have a big building. We call it the Big Blue Building.
Is it blue? Okay.
Downtown
She used to
here.
work on the top of that doing something
Oh, wow.
back in the day. So this next song I just recently wrote not too long ago. We just got a chance to record it down in Nashville just this last weekend. We've never played this out, and we barely know it, so it should be fun.
Yeah.
But I wrote this song. Brittany lost her aunt not even 3 years ago?
3 years.
And she had a brain tumor, and so I wrote this song in honor of her and her husband, who were married for a long time. And this is called Jackie Loves Me. Sitting beneath the redbud tree, I love Jackie and Jackie loves me. Been 30 years since we were 17. Guess that we were just meant to be. Whoa, I'm glad I got to love you. And whoa, it was written on the sun. Well, some days, well, they might last forever, but not this one.
Doctor said you'd have me till 4. Leaves are changing and I recall blowing all around my feet. Darling, even the wind has me.
Whoa, I'm glad I got to love you. Whoa, it was written on the sun. But some days, well, they might last forever, but not this one. Well, those northern pines are calling you, babe. With the best views underneath the shade. Take the strength to hear your goodbye. I became like water with tears in my eyes. Was your eyes when you fell asleep? Always thought it'd be you burying me. Whoa, I'm glad I got to love you. Whoa, it was written on the sun. Some days, well, they might last forever. These days, well, they might last forever. These days, well, they might last forever, but not this one. Thank you. Brand new, right off the hot off the press, they say. I don't think I forgot any lyrics yet. Maybe a couple. I don't know.
You wrote them, yeah. No.
You always say that song is I wrote the song, I didn't learn it. There's a, you know what I mean? I want to say a quick thing about this next song. This song is the new title track of our new album called Marks on the Wall. And this is just to kind of honor our grandparents. They, you know, as we get indoor busy with our lives and our grandparents is when they age or our parents age, we tend to not spend as much time as we used to with them. We all get busy. And always regretted I didn't spend enough time with my grandmother before she passed. And so I wrote this song to honor her and to others and kind of remind her to make sure you spend your time doing the important things. So this song is called Marks on the Wall. All those years she broke her back, and you can't even stand to watch her pass. Room full of pictures of people who cared and no longer there. Who was there when you skinned that knee, tucked you in and kept you clean, rubbed your legs when they would ache. You won't do the same. Yeah, the doctor, he comes once a week, and the sister, she visits from Deer Creek, and she stays long enough to be seen, if you know what I mean. All of your life you took 'em in, taking care and raising others' kids. You never knew what it's like to feel like this now that you're alone. What if she would have given up, moved away when things got tough? Marks on the wall just to see how tall, they don't mean a thing. Yeah, the doctor, he comes once a week, and the son, he comes over from Pikes Peak, and he stays long enough to be seen, if you know what I mean. Yeah, the doctor, he comes once a week, and the son, he comes over from Pikes Peak, and he stays long enough to be seen, if you know what I mean. From a farmhouse built out in '53 to a one-bedroom with no scenery, is this all she meant to me? Yeah, the doctor comes once a week, and I used to visit from Pikes Peak, and I'd stay long enough to be seen, if you know what I mean. Yeah, the doctor, he comes once a week, and I used to visit from Pikes Peak, and I'd stay long enough to be seen, if you know what I mean. I wanna raise a voice to arms, 'cause you can't even die on your own terms. It's just a waiting game to see who's first to give what's left to me. But what if she would have given up, moved away when things got tough? Marks on the wall just to see how tall, they don't mean a thing.
Wow. All right. So I get so lost in the music, I forget what we were talking about last. But we'll just try to pick it back up. Hey, Shannon, did you live close to your grandparents when you were growing up?
Yeah, for the most part, we always lived pretty much, in the same town, across town, pretty much, yeah. Once in a while, my mom would move. My mom moved around a lot. I went to 4 different schools in 1 year when I was in elementary school, so we hopped a lot, but it was always within like 20 minutes of where my grandparents lived, so that worked out nice.
Yeah, yeah. And your mom moved around a bunch with her work. You said, yeah, I mean, you mentioned, for instance, that she did voiceover stuff down in Lexington.
Yeah. My mom's a free spirit.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Good enough. So let's see. You have some other folks here with you tonight.
Oh yes.
Yes. And
I'm waiting all night for this.
Yeah. You want to introduce them?
Can I?
Yeah, I would love it.
I'm going to introduce everybody, because just in case somebody missed it, this part.
That sounds good. And then I'll come back maybe and talk to the 2 folks I haven't spoken with yet.
Well, my beautiful 16-year-old daughter, Miss Navie Clark, here over on keys and vocals. And boys, stay away. I don't mind going back to jail again. So On the drums, we have Keeping It Real right here. My beautiful wife of 17 years, Mrs. Brittany Clark.
Wow.
And we have, yes. And we have on cello/bass, we have the one and only Mr. Michael Ronstadt. And yes, thank you. Give him a round. And on fiddle, we have the best Class A mechanic in 5 states, Mr. Doug Hamilton.
Ooh. All right, thanks for the intro. All right, good. Well, let's start with you, Doug, since you were the last person mentioned. So you told me that you have a bike shop, and do you do bikes because it's challenging to sort of make ends meet with music, or music because it's challenging to make ends meet with bikes?
Kind of neither.
Okay,
I kinda
that was
fell into-
choice 3, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of fell into the bike thing accidentally.
How is that?
Well, you know, most people that go to school for 7 years are called doctors, but not me. So at the end of the 4th attempt, I just got a job at the local bike shop one summer. I was tired of playing the violin, didn't want to do it anymore. And I said, you know, maybe I like doing that. I like riding bikes. I used to race. And he hired me, and it was the most natural thing to me. It came easily.
Yeah.
And so I wrench on just about anything I get my hands on, cars, bikes, whatever.
Oh, good. Would you like to give out your contact information for listeners who maybe are just having a little trouble with their catalytic converters or whatever?
Well, we do mostly bikes, but it's Bikewise in Oxford, Ohio.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. And talk about your musical training. I mean, you play a beautiful violin.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Talk to us about that.
Well, okay, so I started on trombone in the 4th grade because I
Natural
wanted to play
progression.
trumpet because all my friends were in the band. And, you know, my friend Jeffrey Hamilton Cranfield III was playing trumpet, and I wanted to play in the band. And they said, well, we have trombone left. And I tried it, and they just said, you know, you have no talent whatsoever. You should probably just not play music. And I went,
Come on.
Okay. So I just, you know, sat it out for a year. And then the next year, the dashingly bohemian orchestra director came up to me at lunch when I was 10 and said, would you like to learn how to play the violin? And I said, yeah. And so here we are. I went to school classically, but then I found that I loved improvising. I ended up in a jazz group, all original jazz, violin stuff, and we ended up opening for Bela Fleck and the Flecktones.
Oh, wow.
And at the end of that set, Victor Wooten, who ended up, you know, I mean, we still keep in touch once in a while, said, hey, man, you ought to think about moving to Nashville. So I just did. And ended up 9 years on the road with different artists down there. And
Like, do you mind saying, like, who?
well, see, he mentioned Reba McEntire.
It doesn't
so
matter who, really, but
it doesn't.
I'm
I
just
mean,
curious.
It's just road gig stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like Aaron Tippin, Reba McEntire, Tanya Tucker, Barbara Mandrell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you know, so it was just a thing I did. You know.
But it seems like that would be, you know, those. I mean, most of the ones you've mentioned are like country fiddle
Yeah,
gigs.
yeah. And it was, you know, you'd play jazz in town and you'd go out on the road and make your money.
Wow.
So,
Well,
and then when my first child was born, I didn't want to be gone all the time, so we moved back to the Cincinnati area. And I'm actually from Atlanta originally. I'm a Southern in exile.
And how did you meet Shannon and Brittany?
Well, through this guy right here.
Oh, the link.
Michael and I first started playing together with another artist named Lisa Bialis. And we realized that we just have some sort of weird osmosis connection. We just, it's the freakiest thing. I mean, I kind of jokingly call him my cello wife because we can just sense where to go. And all these parts we're doing, they're written on the spot. So that's how I, you know, got into this. And Michael said, hey, I'm working with this really interesting band. And they are. I love this.
Yeah.
I like the stuff they write. They're just fabulous.
Okay, so then, Mike, I guess I should ask you the question. If you wouldn't mind stepping up to the mic, I should ask you the question: how did you meet Shannon and introduce them to Doug?
Well, we were doing a show in his town, and they came out to see me and Doug playing with Lisa Bialis.
And was this a jazz gig? Is Lisa a jazz player?
She's kind of fallen under the blues category, but she sings
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
And belle of the blues type singer.
Uh-huh.
But she's we were playing and Shannon came up at the show. Hey, I have some music. Would you be interested if I got your information and I called you for some cello work? So I came into the studio for a track called Carry Me, which I think we're going to play in a little bit.
Yeah, right.
And after that, last summer, you were the only one with gigs, so took it. No, actually, but I really wanted to play music with Shannon, and I love family music because I grew up playing music with my dad and my brother in a group called Ronstadt Generations. I still play with my brother, P.D. Ronstadt, with Ronstadt Brothers. I play music with my wife, Serenity Fisher, and Serenity Fisher and the Cardboard Hearts, and we also use Michael Ronstadt and Serenity Fisher as our names. And so, family music is, I feel like that's my middle name sometimes. So when I get to hear family singing together and harmonizing, it's a special thing, and I always like to be a part of it.
Yeah, is that the strongest for you when it comes to family music? Is it that vocal element that is sort of the magic, the special sauce?
I think that's the special sauce. And then when families playing instruments together, like if I'm on the stage with my brother, Petey, we just kind of read each other's minds. And that's the scary thing about Doug Hamilton, because it's almost like we're related. First time on stage, we just read each other's minds. So it's, we might as well be related, Doug. So family music all around.
Well, nice. Yeah, it's very nice. So you guys do play off each other really well. It's obvious that you're familiar with each other's, you're anticipating what each other is going to do. Talk about your training a little bit.
Well, I grew up, in fourth grade, they offered, in end of third grade, they offered cello and violin, all this. So they're like, you can do orchestra next year. And I didn't think, I could choose to do it or not. I just said, I got to do orchestra. And she sat down. Mrs. Edwards sat down to play the cello, but stood up for every other instrument. So my third grade brain said, I like that because I like sitting down. And so I chose the cello. And 2 years later, I picked up guitar, had a mariachi guitar thing. I grew up in Tucson, Arizona, and learned guitar and then started applying guitar techniques to cello, taught myself some music theory and chords on cello. There's no books for cello chords. You just have to figure out the notes. And so, from there I ended up figuring out music's the only thing I can do, and went through a master's degree in cello performance and ended up in Cincinnati at CCM because of that, and went to Philadelphia for a while and came back to Cincinnati. So.
Oh, all right. Nice trip. And talk about that instrument that you're playing there. I mean, I think it's the nicest sounding fake cello I've ever seen. No, sorry.
Well, it's funny.
No, it's full of wood.
It is. It's. I feel embarrassed because my wood cello is over there. It's probably crying in the corner right now because it sounds beautiful. But for this setting, since I'm doing electric bass with Shannon for a lot of tunes, it's easier for me to just plug the electric cello into a bass cab, and boy, does it sound so good in a bass amp. I love it. So I remembered why I liked this instrument 21 years ago when I bought it.
Yeah, it really does sound beautiful. And who makes that one?
It's a Yamaha silent cello, and I call it the Art Deco model.
Wow.
I don't know if it's Art Deco, but it looks like it.
That's very nice. Thanks, Mike, and thanks, Doug.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so, would you mind talking a little bit about your CD and the production of it? So, I'm thinking of myself if I imagine myself a producer, there would be a lot of things might come on my table, but I would hear what you guys are doing. And I would say, I'd like to get a hold of this and get inside of this a little bit, because there's so many layers to it, and it's really exciting to listen to and soothing and really rhythmic. Brittany, I mean, I don't know, you're self-taught. I don't know. That to me is pretty remarkable, just because you have such a flair.
Thank you.
What is that beat you played to Red River? What is that? That sounded like you were taught by Mick Fleetwood.
I kind of stole that from him. So, he has heavily influenced me without knowing. So.
Oh, that's a good influence. So it wasn't just Sheryl Crow's drummer.
So
right.
Fleetwood Mac's up there too.
So a lot of good. Yeah. So talk about that. Did the producer choose you, or did you choose him? And talk about him.
Yeah, we decided we wanted to do a record. We had about 5 or 6 songs I really liked and I really wanted to do, and I decided I wanted to get someone that had a good reputation that I respected as a producer, and so there was 3 guys I actually had in mind, and I sent my demos. Marks on the Wall was one of the demos I sent, and I think I sent it to 5 producers, and I had 3 of them immediately that wanted to work with us, which was super flattering. And it could have been because they liked us or because they didn't have a lot of work either way, but it worked out great for us. And so Mark Howard was one of those producers, and of course his work with Daniel Lanois on albums like Wrecking Ball and Joshua Tree and Time Out of Mind by Bob Dylan, like all those great albums that Mark worked on, and Lucinda Williams' No More Tears, one of my favorite albums. And I said, I want him. I want that guy, because the reason why I like Mark is because he's not a inside the box kind of guy. And all those albums, even though they're not critically acclaimed to maybe the critics, but to fans, Emmylou Harris's Wrecking Ball is my favorite album of hers. It always will be. Yeah. And I think, but it didn't do well when it came out. It was a very kind of poorly received album, I think, from the critic side of stuff. But so I wanted someone to think outside the box, and that's what Mark did. So the record is very, there's a lot of Mark on there. It's not stuff I would have ever done. I would have kept it more stripped down, but he had a lot of elements, ambient things that really made it kind of interesting. And so we rented a house in my hometown. He came down from Canada, and we set up in this house for 2 weeks, and we just sat in a room and worked up these demos, and most of everything we tracked was live, very few overdubs. I don't think we used 20 tracks, any more than 20 tracks in any of the record, and it just kind of happened, and it was really special. Like low pressure, just coming in, and we just kind of jammed, and we just were really proud of it, and it actually comes out. So I wanted to tell you. So technically, it was supposed to come out in May, and there was a snafu. So it actually comes out in July 15th. So
okay, so it is forthcoming. Okay,
it is coming soon. Yes.
Yeah, and I think in a previous conversation I had with you, you sort of shared with me that it's stretched you guys and helped you to think a little bit about the different possibilities of sonic things that could happen in a performance.
Oh yeah, I mean he pushed the limits with. We got some songs coming up where we used drum machines, and we used, what else was interesting? We used some ambient noises that were. I mean, I'm an organic person by nature. I just like a guitar and strings, and I'm happy. So he pushed us in an interesting way. We actually had a bass player by the name of Michael Chavez from LA that was a friend of Mark's who came out, and he sat in with us on bass and kind of helped push us that way, because he's more of he's a guitar player that's really good at bass. So his guitar lines on the record are very guitar player-esque. Instead of the typical bump a bump, it's a little more harmonics, I guess, harmonically sound, and yeah, it's really interesting. But it did push us. I remember him pushing you out of your comfort zone with some of the songs, and that was interesting, for sure.
I think he knew I could do things that I didn't know I could do, but he could tell, and he just kept pushing you until he got what he wanted,
and then he just
it was
shut
kind
my
of
guitar
awesome.
off altogether and said, just sing, just stop, just sing.
Did he like the vocals?
No, I'm just saying.
No.
Just 'cause
no, but I hear you.
Yeah. No, I think he did. Yeah, I think he liked what we did. Yeah.
It's worth mentioning. There's a little. He's like you said. He is very much out of the box. If you listen to the record on the beginning of Red River, there's a little fiddle intro that kind of comes out of nowhere. That was me. I'd picked up the violin and had it's COVID, haven't played a lot, and I'd take a minute and just horse around. He was recording it.
Of course, right.
And, so I don't know he's recording it. So we hear this, and I'm like, what the? And
right.
There it is. Thank goodness I played it in tune. It's like
That's crazy. Yeah, it's like the photographers. They're always running around shooting pictures of you, whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden.
Sometimes that's the best. Yeah.
Yeah, right. They get that spontaneous moment. Well, your music just feels really fresh and beautiful, and I really look forward to hearing the record.
I got one for you. I brought one for you if you want.
Woohoo! All right. Hey, folks, we're going to get back to Shannon Clark and the Sugar. Thank you guys so much for making the trip and to come and be with us on Red Barn Radio. Shannon Clark and the Sugar.
This next song you can check out. We got a music video of my good friend Sean Spittler did it for us right before COVID, 2019. And this is the song I wrote about. It's been 5 or 6, 7, 8 years ago. I don't know. It's been a while. But this is the song that I wrote that got me back into playing music again after losing my daughter. And so this song is for her, and this song is called Carry Me. Never thought I'd miss this Ohio. Never thought I'd race to see its sun. But I buried my mother's mother and father and watched my little girl waste away in this rocky world. And I know I'll never, ever be the same. Carry me home. Carry me home. Carry me. Never thought I'd miss these fields of gold. Didn't think I'd sell everything I own. But I can't mistake the way this wind is changing. 'Cause now that I'm growing old, know this is where I wanna rest these bones. Bury me next to my pine tree family. Carry me home. Carry me home. Carry me. Never thought I'd be somebody something. Didn't think I'd raise a family. But I miss you like a soldier misses his mama. Yeah, and I wasted 20 years, oh, hiding in this fear that I never, ever really amount to much. You carry me, oh. You carry me, oh, yeah. You carry me, oh. Carry me home. Carry me home. Carry me. You carry me home. Thank you very, very much. All right, now it's time for some loud guitar music. Yeah. We love the intimate stuff, but every once in a while, you know, everybody needs a little rock. So it's actually really cool because in my in-ear monitors, which I'm not used to wearing them, which I really like them actually, I can slowly hear a radio station. I'm not sure which one it is. It's pretty cool. So I do know when the sales this week are going to be at the local department store. Picking up a signal. Not bad though. All right. This song, me and Michael co-wrote this one, and it's different. So I hope you like it. It's called Grumpy Sun. Well, the sun's a little grumpy today, 'cause woke up, had to shine his rays on a little town off the interstate that nobody cares now that he was late. But now I know it sounds a little absurd, but it kinda made him just a little perturbed, 'cause no one recognized the color of sunshine, yeah, they don't even bother. Oh, sun, keep on shining, wouldn't know it from lightning, or wishing well. And that sun, it might forget us. You take the number 9 gray bus, and she'll never look back. Well, the sun had to shine its glow on a little town out in Idaho, where people gathered up all in the masses to read the screens all their nightly passes and tip their hats to the fake genius and celebrate all their abundant weakness. But the sun just didn't believe in rewarding mediocrity. And oh, sun, keep on shining, you wouldn't know it from lightning, or wishing well. Well, that sun, it might forget us, take the number 9 gray bus, and she'll never look back. Well, and that sun, well, might forget us. You take the number 9 gray bus, and she'll never look back. 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 There it is, a little bit of rock. Feel like Ashley Simpson up here. So we don't use a lot of background stuff. We have a couple songs. And I used to be against it, but Mark, when we were producing the record, he said, oh, man, it's like lots of guys use that stuff. It's really cool. I was like, oh, I guess I'll try some. So sometimes it's kind of neat. It's different. It adds a super, it definitely at live shows, it kind of gets the crowd moving a little bit. I saw you shaking your booty a little on that one.
As much as it shakes.
So this next song we wrote, kind of an interesting story. It was a song that I had written, but I had not finished the song, and I didn't send it to Mark in the original demos when we were working them up. And one day in the studio, like the fourth day in, I just had this dream that I should bring this to him. And so I did, and he listened to the first. I didn't have it finished, but I listened to the first verse and chorus, and he goes, "Oh, we have to do that one right now. Like that, we're doing that one." And didn't have all the words, so we wrote the rest in the studio. And this is a personal song about just getting over, someone else. And so we wrote this song. Again, a little different, but we, like I said, we embrace all musical styles. So this song's called 1,000 Times. Turn the lights down low, like we used to do on that front porch. You don't call this place home anymore. It's me and this old guitar, all alone. In the sound of a slamming door. It takes more from you than it deserves. Like 1,000 swords cut you down, down. Maybe we weren't meant to share this house. But how can you forget my name? You said it 1,000 times, and 1,000 times again. It's like we never met. Just a passing conversation. Virginia didn't change a thing. Did you ever really wear a ring? I know you moved on, and I moved away. You changed your last name. I turned them lights back on, 'cause I'm not afraid of being alone. Like 1,000 waves crashing down, down. The tide moves in and it rolls back down. But how can you forget my name? You said it 1,000 times, and 1,000 times again. It's like we never met. Just a passing conversation. Just a passing conversation. Like 1,000 swords or a slamming door. I don't need you anymore.
Wow, wow. We would like to thank Shannon and Brittany and Navie and Doug and Mike, Shannon Clark and the Sugar for being with us this evening. We also thank our volunteers and staff for their help in making our production happen each and every week. Thank you all for listening to our webcast, watching us on YouTube and Twitch, and those listening to us on the network of Red Barn stations and media worldwide. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU. Those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, you know what? You can check out Red Barn TV, our weekly program of music now on ABC 36 WTVQ. Don't miss that. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. We thank LexArts President and CEO Amy Sweetall for always helping to make the production of Red Barn Radio possible. Our website has updates and further information on our guests on our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. And now, once again, folks, let's welcome back Shannon Clark and the Sugar to see us out with one more number. Shannon Clark and the Sugar.
Thank you guys so much for having us. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for all the hard work, everybody involved. We really do appreciate you letting us come out here tonight. And I want to dedicate this last song to our longtime keyboard player who's played this last couple years. He passed away this year, and so Navie had to kind of take into his shoes and fill in some of his shoes. And he was a longtime Nashville player, just a super great guy. His name was Jerry Hughes, so I'm going to dedicate this song to him. This song is called Last Morning. Will you be my bride, so sweet as the rain keeps time on the trees? Darken my flags, I said, then I will build you wings. Will you be wake up? I will be your love now until I don't wake up. Will you stand by me, my sweet, when all we have are thorns? Empires fall in the dust, fizzling, then I'm forever yours. Will you be don't wake up? I will be your love now until I don't wake up. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Wake up, I will be your love Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Well, that's all for our show for this week. You can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide, though, as we stream live on the web on YouTube and Twitch, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America, and archived performances on Spotify, iTunes, and video on the Red Barn Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to check out our social media, too, for updates to our upcoming schedules and more information on our program. And now from all of us here at Red Barn Radio to all of our friends worldwide, it's our hope that you have a great week. Keep working together to be safe and healthy. And until next time, good night from Red Barn Radio.